Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's funny that you say it like that because I also remember in an earlier conversation we had when we were on our way up here is that you always feel the need to be the strong one in the situation because and from what you're saying now it's like you had anxiety from the fact that it's like, man, you wake up and it's like now the family's gone. And it's just like, oh my God, like you're just sitting here and you don't know what to do. And then it's like from what you also say is like you've always felt in a position where you've seen yourself as weak. And then it's like from there you need to like become into a stronger form of yourself. And I'd like to ask you a question is like, how do you think that you make yourself a stronger person because of that, if that makes sense?
That's a two-part answer.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I thought. I'll tell you what I thought I needed to do to be
Okay.
strong. Initially, I thought that, and this was around the time I became an adult. I thought initially that what the solution for me feeling weak is I need to go figure out what strong people do.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and when I thought about what do I think about when I think about strength? Well, the only thing I knew then was that was like physical strength, right? So the strongest men I can think of was Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see the commercials of them spinning the rifles. You see all the video games that were made where they're depicted as like these absolute insane, like strong, courageous men. So to that point, that's what I thought strength was.
Okay.
So I was like, I want to know if what I'm feeling, the weakness that I feel, is legitimate, or if I'm stronger than I think I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so enlisting in the Marine Corps was me figuring that part out. Here's the second part that I mentioned. The first part is that's strength, but that's a different kind of strength. It is a mental strength. It's not an emotional strength. And where I was weakest was emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was what the Marine Corps did for me, and I thought that resolved the problem for a long time until very recently.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that resolved the issue was that I made it through. I earned the title. I was able to do. I'm as strong as I thought I was, and so problem solved. Right? That was wrong. All that really it did help me, and to this day, it's helped me a lot. Like publicly speaking, I don't like to public speak. I don't like being on stage. I don't like being center of attention. That's why as a kid, I was in the background because I just don't like to do that. I've had to learn to speak, and the military helped me do that. And so I'm able to do it now, despite the fact that I still don't like being in front of the lights. Believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first part. The second part is that now that I learned that is strength, but not the strength that I was looking for. What I realized from that is the second part is, what are you really afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to ask myself that. And I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I learned is that your fears have a way of finding you.
Yeah.
If you don't face them first, they will face you, whether you're ready or not. And you are better off facing them, you choosing to face them, than them facing you.
It's kind of like if there's a problem, if there's a leak, the leak is only going to get worse, you know. And then pretty soon, like for example, okay, when I was a kid, my dad is he has great skills. He's very smart, very intuitive, very good, but he's not a handyman. He doesn't know how to work tools or operate tools, but he gets panicky. And one thing he does is when I was younger, we had a leak in the bathroom. Now, it's not bad because it's just a leak, but the leak eventually there was like a crack in the tub now. So now there's a leak in a crack, and now the water's leaking in the crack. Now, under our floorboards at the bottom in the joists are getting wet. Now there's a mold problem. And then there's a problem with the drywall because the drywall is disintegrating. So that first problem started off with just a simple leak. Now it's evolved in this thing. And now you have to confront not only that first issue, but the other 3 and 4 issues at once. And now you're dealing with a bigger thing. And what a lot of people tend to do is in that situation, they actually even turn away even more. But I think what's really great about this podcast is it's not turning away. It's not hiding. It's something that's hey, this is approachable. And even too with yourself, it's funny because when you did the Marine Corps, you worked at all the sides that you said that you were strong at already. And you are a very strong person. You have very strong mental fortitude, but the thing that you said that you have problem with is the emotions. And it's funny that it's like you're confronting this now. And not only that, but like I think one thing that's very important is the community, like the communicative aspects of it, where it's like, you don't have to do this alone. Even though it's nighttime and even though you're isolated and everything is closing in around you, that's not true because everyone experiences night.